whoosh, whoosh. As I wave my Norwegian flag, I am the Angry Spud, back with another Spud Reacts. And in today's video, Ryan Shirley is taking us to Norway to see the top 25 places to visit there. You already know this is about to be remarkable because Ryan always brings us the best footage and some really neat places. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right in.
What's up guys, my name is Ryan and I recently returned from exploring the beautiful country of Norway and I want to share with you my favorite places. So here's my Norway top 25.
Alright, here's top 25.
Norway has to be one of my all-time favorite
that's
countries.
amazing.
From the jaw-dropping fjords of western Norway to the sea mountains of Lofoten, Norway offers some of the world's most unique landscapes. I mean, I just can't get enough of this country. Now let's start this video off at Geiranger Fjord. Now located about a 6-hour drive from Oslo, Geiranger Fjord is one of Norway's most popular destinations. The fjord is over 260 meters
Oh my gosh, look at that! Look at that house right there. Oh man, I gotta see it again.
Popular destinations. The fjord is
this someone's house or is this like just a different random building? Could you imagine this steep cliff being in your backyard? Oh my gosh, I'd be too scared to have children there.
over 260 meters deep and surrounded by massive mountains. Now one of the most spectacular features of the fjord is the Seven Sisters waterfall. It consists of 7 separate streams that descend 410 meters to the water below. The best way to see the fjord is by boat. Some people arrive by cruise ship, but you can also take a ferry or tour boat to show you around. This is by far the best way to witness the waterfalls and majesty of the fjord. Now the main reason I wanted to go to Geiranger Fjord was to visit Skagafla. It's this historic farm built on a cliff 270 meters above the fjord.
I think that's the house. That kind of looks like the one from far. Oh my gosh, that's legit somebody's farm. What? Oh, that makes my heart race just thinking about that. Like just one wrong move, but to live there and just to look out every day, that's a blessing.
Now you can only access the hike by taking a ferry over. It cost about $50 per person and the ride had some amazing views. Now when we got off the boat, the hike was no joke. It just goes straight up the mountain where you get some amazing views on your way up. When you reach the farm, you'll feel like you're in a fairy tale. The cabins are covered in moss-covered roofs and the views you get up there are just astounding. I'm just jealous of whoever owns those cabins. Farmers used to live here all the way back in the Middle Ages and it was inhabited until the early 1900s. Back when it was a farm, it could support over 100 animals. Now due to its location, it was a somewhat dangerous spot due to avalanches and rock slides, and also the remoteness of it made it a tricky place for agriculture, but the farmers made it work. Today it's easily one of Norway's most beautiful hikes and one of my favorite places I visited during my time in Norway. Now,
I feel like some hobbits should live there.
On the Geiranger Vegan. If you're driving south out of Geiranger Fjord, you have to take this road. It's this mountain pass with so many amazing spots. Now one of the first places I came across was this set of mountain cabins right next to some waterfall. It looked
blend
like
right
it could be
in.
a movie set for a fantasy film. Now as you keep driving up the road, you'll come across this unique landscape with exposed rock and hardly any vegetation. The road just winds through the scenery and it's such a beautiful drive. I love the lakes that were up there. One was called Lovatnet and it had this dark blue color with an impressive mountain backdrop.
It's like a drop off right there.
Down the road was Lovatnet, which had some towering mountain walls. I mean, on the drive, there's just so many cool lookout spots. One of the most impressive is the Geiranger Skywalk. It's the highest fort view in Norway and costs about $25 to access.
That's some Mission Impossible stuff right there.
Now it's about an hour-and-a-half drive from Geiranger. We stayed here several days and it's this beautiful village with this serpentine river.
Okay, there's literally like no place or any patch of grass that is not earthly green. It is all green. Like there's no dead, burnt grass. It's like all well maintained and taken care of. How do they do that? Is it just because of the I don't know, like the weather there, that it's like always rainy and moist and it just makes the soil so fertile or something? Or do they just well keep it? I don't know. It's just well kept. Somebody got to explain that to me.
that winds through the valley. What's great about Stryn is that it's close to so many places. One of my favorites is Lovatnet. It's located just 20 minutes from Stryn, and it's this glacier lake with a distinct turquoise water and has an incredible backdrop of the mountains. Now,
That kind of reminds me of Switzerland.
We drove to the other side of the lake to this place called Lovatnet. Now, there was this insane waterfall called Romsdalen that was easily one of my favorites that I saw in my time in Norway. Now, while Lovatnet is stunningly beautiful, the lake has had its fair share of tragedies over the last few centuries from landslides. Now, right next to that waterfall I was talking about, in 1905, a massive rock from the Romsdalen mountain came loose and fell 500 meters where it hit the water, and it caused a tidal wave that wiped out some villages completely off the map. Despite this history,
holy cow. So in 1905, there's a big old rock falls off the mountain, basically creates a tsunami, wipes out the place. And then the other city, I forget what it was, but there was a fire in 1904, the year before, that literally wiped out a bunch of places because it was, burned it all. So you got hot and cold from one year to the other. That's very interesting. And all you conspiracy people out there, I don't know. No, just messing.
Lovatnet is a place you gotta visit. It's hard to match the beauty of this Norwegian lake. Now, right next to Lovatnet is another glacier lake called Lovatnet. Now, I thought this area was incredibly beautiful. I love driving around the lake's edge. Now, if you go to the very end, there's some impressive glaciers and waterfalls. There was this waterfall called Volleyfossen that I thought was so impressive, and you can also hike to this glacier called Briksdalbreen. It's about a 5-kilometer round trip.
Look at that.
And on the way, you'll experience waterfalls and incredible views of the Briksdals Glacier. Now,
I want to go up there so bad and hit a chunk off and just eat it. I'm sure it's just so mineral dense and just probably would, I don't know, rejuvenate you and just hydrate you so well.
Afterwards, we're going to visit this mountain called Ekinniba. Now, it's located about an hour's drive from Stryn, and it's this perfectly shaped mountain peak. It kind of reminded me of the Matterhorn. We went to this lake at the base of the mountain called Bergheimsvatnet. I just had a great time chilling on the shore and marveling at the mountain. If it's not too windy, the lake gives off a perfect reflection of the peak. I mean, just such a lovely spot. Now, afterwards, we're going to visit Romsdalen. Now, when I got to Norway this summer, this was the first place I went. It's about a 5-hour drive to get there from Oslo, and it's this phenomenal valley surrounded by some of Europe's highest cliffs. Look at the clouds. I mean, just unbelievable how massive and sheer the mountain walls are. Now, another thing about Romsdalen was the mountain waterfalls. It's home to some of the tallest waterfalls, not just in Norway, but in the world. The waterfall called Mongefossen is the 4th highest single-drop waterfall in the world with a height of 773 meters.
Are you allowed to, maybe somebody knows this, maybe someone doesn't, I don't know, but there are springs here in the U.S. where you can get on a website and see which ones, and you're allowed to go there. I think you have to pay admission still. But you can scoop up the water and collect it and for your drinking water. Can you do that at these and just go there and just scoop up the water, or is that illegal or something? Because oh my gosh, could you imagine having a freaking waterfall in your backyard and you're just getting free water, scooping it up, and it's the perfect spring water? That would be, oh my gosh, I can't even. I gotta keep moving on.
There's just waterfalls everywhere you look and a pristine river that runs through the whole valley. Now, one reason I wanted to come here was to witness Trollstigen. It is the tallest vertical rock face in all of Europe with a height of 1,700 meters. Now, one of the best places to view Trollstigen is from Litlefella or Little Mountain. Now, to get there, you take a toll road that costs about $10, and it's a fairly easy hike that takes about 20 minutes. Now, when you're up top, you'll be facing the daunting Trollstigen mountain across the valley. When I was there, it was pretty cloudy, but I still got a good look at it. Now, aside from Trollstigen, there's so many amazing views from the top, such as the Romsdalen Peak, which is one of the most uniquely shaped mountains I've ever seen. You also get great views of the winding river and valley below.
It is amazing.
I mean, this place is just freaking amazing. If you come up for sunrise, you'll get a great view of Trollstigen as the sun hits the cliffs. Overall, one of my favorite places.
Look at that. Everywhere you look, you see these, you know how everybody stacks the stones like that? I saw a bunch of those just in some of the pictures. It's whenever you see those stones, you just have to create your mark and just stack the stones. If you have ever stacked stones somewhere, whether it was Norway or anywhere else, like I have, go ahead and let me know down below.
I visited in Norway. While we're still on the topic of trolls, we'll go take a drive on the Troll's Path or Trollstigen. Now it's located just 20 minutes from Trollstigen. This is possibly the most famous road in all of Norway. It has 11 hairpin turns as it scales up the mountain with a 10% incline. It was first opened in 1936 after taking 8 years to build. I thought driving on it would be a little sketchy, but it wasn't too bad except when you're passing a bus or two. Now one thing I love about Trollstigen is its waterfalls. There are 2 of them. My favorites was Stigfossen. It's 320 meters high and it has this arch bridge that passes over it. Now on top of Trollstigen, there's this really cool visitor center and a lookout point. It's just like a short 5-minute walk and you'll be able to get panoramic views of the road and all its turns.
Look at that. Like, you have to really
5-minute walk and you'll be able to get panoramic views.
You have to like make sure, because you only can pass like on these spots right here. I mean, look how narrow that is. And I mean, if you are like hogging the road, somebody cannot get over. I think someone's going down the cliff. That's just going to happen. You got to be really paying attention here.
Of the road and all its turns. It was really cloudy when I was there, but that just added to the magic of the location. Norway sure knows how to make good roads. Now, another one of Norway's most famous drives is the Atlantic Ocean Road. Now, the 8.3 kilometer road runs over an archipelago of islands. The Atlantic Ocean Road was completed in 1989. It's made up of 8 bridges and 4 resting places.
This is why they have thousands and thousands of islands. I mean, look at this. And then they got bridges connecting them. That's some engineering right there.
And viewpoints. The route is an impressive feat in engineering and it won the Norwegian Construction of the Century Award. So if you decide to do a Norway road trip, you have to take a drive on this scenic road. Afterwards, we're going to head down to southern Norway to Lovatnet to drive down another Norwegian road. Now, Lovatnet is this small village that's about a 3-hour drive from Stavanger. Now, what I think is so scenic about Lovatnet is the road that leads down to it. Now, when I first saw pictures of it, I just couldn't believe it. It consists of 27 hairpin turns that descend down the fjord to the village below. When you're at the bottom, you'll be amazed by the surrounding walls of the fjord. Now, after, we're going to head over to the nearby Pulpit Rock.
There it is.
In the same fjord as Lovatnet. Pulpit Rock is a famous flat-top cliff with a straight drop of over 600.
Oh my gosh, look at this. Look at this crack right here. That looks like, I don't know, a big old Titan needs to come up here, get his chisel and hammer and just boom, and then just slice the rock right off. That's what that looks like.
Meters. To get there, you can park in the base camp and make a 6-kilometer hike. The rock can get super packed, so if you want to avoid the crowds, wake up early and get to the rock to enjoy the sunrise. Now after, we're going to do another hike to the iconic Trollstigen. Now located about a 6-hour drive from Oslo, Trollstigen is possibly the most famous rock formation in Norway as it shoots out over 2,000 feet from the lake below. Trollstigen is definitely one of the hardest hikes you'll ever do. It's a 28-kilometer round-trip trek that takes anywhere from 8 to 12 hours to do. While it's extremely strenuous, it's hard to beat the views of Trollstigen.
I'm going to call that Simba's Rock. Nobody can change my mind. Don't even try.
Afterwards, we're going to visit some of Norway's most beautiful cities, starting with Bergen. Located on Norway's southwest coast, surrounded by fjords, Bergen is one of Norway's most charming cities. Bergen was founded back in 1070. Thanks to its maritime trade domination, Bergen was the largest city in Norway until the 1830s. Today, it's famous for its colorful wooden houses on the old wharf. You can hike the Fløyen mountain to get some amazing panoramic views of the city. After Bergen, we're going to visit Alesund. Now located about a 7-hour drive from Bergen, Alesund is one of Norway's most prominent fishing towns, built on a uniquely shaped archipelago. Similar to Bergen, it's home to beautifully colored buildings perched right against the ocean. Now to get one of the best views of the city, you can go up to the Byrampen viewpoint or Mount Askell lookouts. Both will give you incredible panoramic views of the fjord and archipelago. If you go to Alesund during the winter months, you might be lucky and witness the stunning aurora borealis as it dances across the Norwegian sky.
So, Alesund, that's the top place for fish. What is the most popular fish that is consumed there? I love salmon. That's my favorite. By far, hands down, blackened salmon. But I'm wondering what it is there. If somebody knows and somebody likes fish and knows that answer, go ahead and let me know.
After, we're going to visit Norway's capital, Oslo. Located on Norway's southern coast, Oslo was founded at the end of the Viking Age during the 11th century. Today, Oslo is one of Europe's fastest growing cities. I love all the modern buildings and museums throughout the city. The Oslo Opera House is an impressive piece of architecture that resembles an iceberg. It was completed in 2007.
I still can't get over this building. It's a museum Opera House, I think it was, where you're literally walking like on the roof and stuff. Like that's the design and somebody who thought of that to where like you can see people from the outside just walking on the roof like while you're, I don't know, looking at things. I think that's amazing to even think of that. Oh, no, it's just so different.
And features slanted marble and granite that slide down to the water. After Oslo, we're going to head up to northern Norway to visit Tromsø. Now, when you look at Tromsø on a map, it's wild to see how high up it is. It's the northernmost city in the world with a population over 20,000 people.
He said the northernmost city in the world. So not even just in Norway, that's in the world. Huh, I did not know that.
Tromsø and the area around it is one of the best places in the world to witness the northern lights. Now from Tromsø, there's a lot of cool places you can visit. You can go to the Lyngen Alps, which are about an hour and a half away, and hike to the crystal clear Lovatnet Lake. Now one interesting place in northern Norway is Nordkapp, or the North Cape. It's the northernmost point in continental Europe and stands upon a 370-meter cliff that dives into the sea. Now to get there, you can make the 9-hour drive from Tromsø, or you could also fly into Honningsvåg or the Alta airports. It's a journey to get there, but it sure is worth it.
What is that? What's that globe for?
We're going to cross the Barents Sea to visit the world's northernmost inhabited area, Svalbard. Located right between the North Pole and Norway lies this Arctic archipelago. Now, the capital of Svalbard is this town called Longyearbyen, which has a population of 2,000 people. Now, what's cool about Svalbard is that it's a visa-free zone, so basically anyone can move and work there. The biggest danger on Svalbard...
Hold on. Let me process that. He said anybody can move and work there or live there or whatever. Why is that a visa-free zone? Is it just because there's not many people there and they just want to bring people? I'm very curious. I'm going to have to look that one up because I didn't think there was any place in the world like that.
Is the Arctic cold and polar bears. In some places, you're required to bring a gun to protect yourself from them, so that's pretty wild. Now,
imagine going to a place where you are required to bring your own firearm. I've never heard of that one before.
After, we're going to head back to mainland Norway to visit the iconic Lofoten Islands. Now, Lofoten is located in northern Norway, and even though it is in the Arctic Circle, it feels like you're on a tropical island. I was lucky enough to go there a few summers ago and just had an incredible journey road tripping through the islands. Our first pit stop was at this little fishing village called Henningsvær. Henningsvær is home to the world's most scenic soccer field.
I have to play on this field one day. Guys, make a note and remind me later on in life that I have to be on this field making a video where I'm shooting a soccer ball or something like that, or a football, whatever you guys want to say. But I just have to do it in my lifetime. Oh, man. Someone make it happen.
When we got there, we sadly didn't have a ball, but we had a good time playing on the field and enjoying the incredible views of Henningsvær. We kept driving and made it to the iconic town of Rhine. Now, when you think of Norway, this is...
That looks like a face. Does anybody else see that right here? Look at this. Is that not a face? There's like a little chin. There's the lips. There's an eye. There's like the little, I don't know, they're scrunching like this, like an Angry Spud. And there's the other eye. Tell me you see that. And they're shrugging their shoulders a little bit. Right here, that shoulder and over here. Tell me somebody else sees it. I'm not the only one. Come on now.
It has those red houses surrounded by massive sea mountains. I'd have to say this is the most beautiful town in Lofoten. Now, when I was planning my road trip to Norway, I remember just seeing a picture of this place and I couldn't believe it existed. If you want to do an amazing hike, I recommend hiking to Kvalika Beach. It's about a 4-kilometer round trip trek, and I promise it's worth it. When you get to the beach, you're going to be amazed by the landscape. It has mountains that remind me of Switzerland, an ocean that looks like the Caribbean, and it's green as a tropical island.
That's something out of Moana over here. That's Moana 101 right there.
I just can't believe places like this exist, especially in the Arctic Circle. Now afterwards, we're going to head to Saltstraumen to witness one of the world's largest whirlpools. Now located about a 3-hour ferry ride from the Lofoten Islands, Saltstraumen is a natural wonder with over 110 billion gallons of water passing through the strait every 6 hours, making it one of the strongest currents in the world. One of the coolest features of Saltstraumen is the whirlpools that the changing tides make. While they aren't whirlpools that you'd imagine from movies, these whirlpools can get over 33 feet in diameter with a depth of 16 feet when the current is at its strongest. You can take a boat ride through the current or can witness the whirlpools from the ridge above, For our final destination, we're going to visit the magical island of Senya. Senya is located above the Arctic Circle and is Norway's second largest island. The reason I wanted to go to Senya was I wanted to hike to the sea mountain called Segla. So I drove to this town called Fjordard and got to the base of the hike, eventually made it to the top, and was just baffled by the views. The rock formation rose hundreds of meters out of the ocean. I was just having the time of my life, and I decided I wanted to spend...
I like heights, but that's kind of giving me anxiety for some reason. I'm just thinking of all the possible wrong things that could happen.
...the night on top of the mountain so I could see the northern lights. All I had was a blanket, and I used my camera bag as a pillow. I set up camp on a mossy cliff ledge and waited for the northern lights to show up. Around 11 p.m., I awoke to the aurora borealis above my head. I mean, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. They moved surprisingly fast, like snakes in the Arctic sky. Now, seeing the lights made me feel like a kid again, and will forever be one of the most special nights of my life. Sometimes you don't need to fall asleep to start dreaming.
Wait, so they're actually really fast when they move? I thought they were just like, I thought that's always been a time lapse anytime I see them on, video. I didn't know they moved that fast. That's interesting.
Well, that is it for my Norway top 25. There are endless beautiful places in Norway, and I plan to go back next summer to discover even more, so expect part 2.
I don't even know where to start with this video. There were so many beautiful things within this. I mean, the north, south, east, and west hit it all. It's more so all of them down in the south, like west, it seemed like. But, I mean, it hit everything. It had a beach that looked like it was from Moana. I mean, and then you got the snow. And then you just have, like, the scenic mountains and just, I don't know, the fjords. It's just, oh, my gosh. Norway is definitely the place to go. But anyways, guys, that's all I have for this video. So let me know your favorite city.